Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your car's feeling sluggish, don't stress. Just bring it down to Britain's Express Oil and Lube on Larkin Avenue in Elgin. For a fast, friendly 10-minute oil change and a full 18-point inspection, they've got you covered. Whether it's engine service, fluids, filters, or headlight check, they do it right, and they do it fast. Family run, quality service, right in your neighborhood. Swing by today and keep your ride running smooth. Britain's Express Oil and Lube, your car's health partner in Elgin, a proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Clutter happens, but junk doesn't have to weigh you down. At the Junk Luggers, we're your full-service junk removal and hauling pros, tackling everything from single-item pickups to major cleanouts. We handle the heavy lifting, and with our commitment to the green way, we rehome and recycle to keep your unwanted items out of landfills. So, whether you're clearing out the garage, downsizing, or saying goodbye to old furniture, we make the process eco-friendly and easy. Call 1-800-LUGJUNK or visit junkluggers.com today. Let's save your space and the planet together.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome into another edition of Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, here on WRMN 1410 AM. I have no guests lined up for today, so if you feel like talking, maybe a little bit of Chicago Bears stadium relocation, Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS, Chicago Blackhawks getting back in action, spring training baseball, Cubs, White Sox, or maybe just maybe a little bit more Olympic talk, but I think we kind of, well, not really hammered that one, but we covered that yesterday with Bob Mariner in studio as a guest or guest host, hosting me, helping me out yesterday. But you could feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or you could check me out on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Hey, what's up, Andrew? And the Andrew that I'm speaking about is the one, the only Andrew Scheid, which will be joining me in studio tomorrow afternoon. So didn't hook up this past Monday. Well, I was on vacation, so I am back 2 days in a row. Woohoo! It's a streak. Yes, it is a streak. And of course, you could always go to the WRMN Facebook page and check out Susie C's question of the day from the WRMN morning show. You could hear her and, well, apparently various guests. Well, I mean, David Tease is joining her in studio all this week. And yeah, but her Susie C, question of the day on the WRMN Facebook page. Not as of yet. I don't believe it's updated yet, but a little preview of that would be, when did you start feeling old? Or when did you realize that you start feeling old? Well, I'm feeling old right now because I don't exactly remember the question of the day, but I'm paraphrasing there. And yeah, it was when I started to realize that I was starting to get hair growing out of places that, well, you kind of associate with, people in their maybe 70s, 80s, 90s, out the nose, out the ears, or maybe even when you wake up feeling great and you take that first step and then all of a sudden, well, you got those nice aches and pains going on. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with for Susie C's question of the day. So you could hear her every morning along with David T's this week, tomorrow morning from 6 until 9 a.m. So got a few minutes until the quarter of the hour break here. And I don't know if y'all out there have been paying attention to what has been going on with the Chicago Bears. I know it's the off season, but hell, it's the Chicago Bears, and their Stadium Saga is just, well, it's still forever continuing. Shovels were supposed to be in the ground by the end of last year, 2025. Not so much Mr. Kevin Warren. But, yeah, you spend all that money buying that plot of land that was formerly the Arlington Heights race course without doing due diligence on what taxes might be like, what the infrastructure might be like. Excuse me, putting all of the carts before the horses. And now you might have the Indiana Bears. I mean, I highly doubt that they will change the name to the Indiana Bears because it's going to be within 75 miles of Chicago. And as far as I know in the research, majority of the stadium season ticket holders for the Chicago Bears season ticket holders, they reside in Northwest Indiana. But, yeah. Can't get the job done here in Illinois as far as state lawmakers go. They did not come up with any plans or any concessions, and they head into their little break, and they won't be back until March 18th, which, hey, you might as well just swing the door wide open for the Indiana lawmakers to come in, do their, I don't even know at this point, but do you even really care? I mean, do you care if the Chicago Bears move from the lakefront? Do you care if they move out to Arlington Heights? Do you care if they move to Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Portage, Indiana? Well, that's a little bit of a hike. Hammond, Indiana, anywhere, Indiana. I mean, hell, there was a report that the Chicago Bears, the state of Iowa. I mean, there's no way in hell that that's going to happen. But, I mean, if we're getting creative here, or not we, or not I, but, hell, Indiana's tossing their hat in the ring. Because, well, why not? Because it's such a kerfuffle. I mean, President Mike Reed of Hampshire sent a letter to the Chicago Bears. I don't know yet, as of yet, if, the Chicago Bears have even, taken it seriously or not. But why not Hampshire? They got a lot of farmland out there. They seem to know what the hell they're doing. It's not like it's going to be out of the state of Illinois. Yes, it's going to be in Hampshire, which is about an hour away from, the lakefront. But at the same time, it'll still be in Illinois. It'll be out of the Cook County area if that were to happen. So Cook County would be losing out on the tax dollars and revenue, but at least it would still be in the state of Illinois, and therefore, well, the tax revenue dollars would still be generated, and it would still be adding jobs, much needed jobs to Illinois, and keep those jobs here in the state. But as we all know, it's all about the dollar bills, y'all, and what they can accomplish as far as their tax write-offs, tax certainties, and just getting the damn deal done. And can they even get the damn deal done? Do you care? Because at this point, it's not like I'm going to be going to any, and I'm talking from my perspective clearly here on Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, where I don't care. I do not care. You know what I do care about? I care about the 11-7 record that the Chicago Bears pulled off this year. I cared that they made it to the playoffs this year. I cared that seemingly Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Ryan Poles, well, more importantly, Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles seem to be on the same page, if you will, because that's what really matters, the winning aspect of the franchise, as far as I'm concerned. Because as far as the ticket prices go, I can't afford them. I'll just, be completely and totally honest with y'all out there. I can't afford them. Hell, I can't even afford the upper 400 level bowl tickets for the Chicago Bears. But that's my issue. That's my problem. But it's expensive as hell, and it's a lot cheaper to just, and as far as I'm concerned, a better viewing experience while catching the game on the radio here on WRMN 1410 AM, listening to that broadcast, syncing it up with the television broadcast, and getting all of those angles in the comfort of my own home, not freezing my arse off, not worrying about people trampling me, going to the bathroom. And actually having a bathroom to go to and not standing in line. But I digress with that. I'll get into it a little bit more on the other side of this break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. I'll be back on the other side.
Now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his CDL, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended the case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety tests as well as the breathalyzer test. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcript from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Do you ever crave a delicious treat, but that pesky guilt lingers over you? Well, you can have your dessert and eat it too. Desserts that's gluten-free, keto, vegan, and actually delicious. Yes, we're serious. At Desserts Without Regrets, located in Gilbert's, we bake for people who read labels. Custom cookies, celebration cake, and treats made with clean ingredients and zero guilt. No walk-ins, because great dessert takes planning. Pre-order only at dessertswithoutregrets.com or call Daria at 312-610-9033. That's Desserts Without Regrets, because dessert should never be a regret. Hey Bears fans, want your business heard during every heart-pounding moment of the game? WRMN 1410 is now offering in-game ad spots for Chicago Bears broadcasts. Be a part of the action as thousands of die-hard listeners tune in each week. Whether it's a touchdown, turnover, or a timeout, your message will be right there in the mix. Spots are limited and going fast. Call WRMN 1410 today at 847-741-7700 and score big with in-game advertising that delivers results. Get in the game with the Chicago Bears on WRMN AM 1410.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And before I was, last segment, I was trying to pull up the info and everything about the Chicago Bears and their stadium deal, and, well, not really a stadium deal, as far as Illinois state lawmakers are concerned. And I guess I kind of stepped in the Smurf a little bit, because I couldn't find the correct article. But, I try to keep it a buck here. I try to, be as honest as I can. So, came across this article from Fox32Chicago.com in regards to the potential movement of the Chicago Bears. The title of it is Illinois Lawmakers Advance Bill Eyed by Chicago Bears for New Stadium Project. This was published by Alex Ortiz. I don't know why it didn't pop up until just recently. But anyway, in the brief, the Illinois state lawmakers advance a bill aimed at helping the Chicago Bears build a suburban stadium. The so-called, quote-unquote, mega projects bill would give large developers a break on property taxes. Yet, at the same time, Indiana state lawmakers are making their own efforts to convince the Bears to build a stadium in Hammond. Now, Illinois state lawmakers have advanced a bill that the Chicago Bears insist is necessary to build a dome stadium in northwest suburban Arlington Heights. As far as we know, the so-called mega project bill gives developers of large projects like a new stadium the ability to save on property taxes by making a quote-unquote payment in lieu of taxes, end quote, to local governments. Now, the bill is entitled HB 2789, and this was discussed today by state lawmakers on the Illinois House Revenue and Finance Committee. The bill still needs full approval by the House and Senate and to be signed by our Governor, J.B. Pritzker. Well, when you're talking about that. I mean, talking about going back and forth as far as, well, we're not going to do this because why should billionaire companies and, well, essentially owners of a billionaire franchise, $1 billion franchise, I should say. It's, well, something that Pritzker backtracked on. Now, further on in the article, the Bears and supporters of the Arlington Heights Stadium plans have argued that, quote unquote, tax predictability is essential for the investment of around $2 billion to build the stadiums. Now, considering that the Bears are valued probably around $8 billion or more, should they get a break on property taxes? While it's seemingly all of Cook County property taxes are raising every single year, those of you that are in Cook County, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, just the infrastructure alone, going back to this, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $855 million. Now, that's the sewers, roadways, electrical, gas, etc., etc. You know, just think of what it takes to have your house up and running. What do you need? You need all of those things, right? But that was seemingly one of those sticking points that the Bears would need help with. And at one point in time, Governor Pritzker was like, nope, not going to do it. Comes back, oh, well, yeah, if it's going to help bring that stadium project to Arlington Heights, yeah, maybe we could kick it in. Oh, yeah, and, well, if the Bears were to pay down their like $500 to $600, $700 million still left on the Soldier Field spaceship renovation, we might be able to help you out with moving to Arlington Heights. We might be able to kick in a little bit more. Come on now. That spaceship that is on Soldier Field is the Bears just don't owe anything on that because it was taken part by, the Chicago Park districts or their entertainment aspects of the Chicago Park districts. And it's laughable to think that, we're going to move it from where it's at further on down on the lakefront when there's no conceivable room down there. I talked about this previously on Big Top Sports. It just doesn't make a lick of sense for that to happen. Why would it happen? When you're going down to a Chicago Bears game, you have to allot for a certain amount of time to get in the stadium. And you better allow at least an hour and a half or 2 hours or 2 hours plus in getting out from Soldier Field after a Bears game or any concert event that is going on down there. Because it is a congestion nightmare. It's not easy to get in there. It's not easy to get out of there. And make no mistake about it. The Chicago Bears are going to be moving off the lakefront. I am 99.9999999% sure that the Bears are going to be moving off the lakefront. Now, what the hell does that mean that's going to go on with Soldier Field? Well, again, it's the perfect concert venue down there on the lake. Well, not quite perfect because, well, like I said, it's a congestion nightmare. Unless you're taking unless you are taking public transportation, if you will, in and out, or parking miles away and maybe Ubering, but then you're paying jacked up prices for the Ubers or Lyfts or whatever the hell it is. I seen you, caller, but could not take you because, well, you hear that music, it means I am up against the bottom of the hour break. If you want to call back, feel free. I'd be more than happy to take your call and take it from there. But you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And I will be back on the other side of this bottom of the hour break.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by KFC. More than 15 business, manufacturing, and labor groups are asking regulators to halt Illinois' planned natural gas phase-out. The coalition cites a study warning of possible electricity shortages by 2029, saying retired power plants could threaten grid reliability. An internet freedom group warns Governor J.B. Pritzker's proposed social media platform fee could raise costs for residents and businesses. The governor says the plan would fund K-12 education, while critics argue companies would pass the cost to consumers. Illinois lawmakers are considering an emergency bill to address SNAP benefit cuts affecting about 230,000 residents. The proposal would provide a one-time payment to households losing aid as concerns rise ahead of the reductions. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister. Now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400 now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by KFC. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 34. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 19. Looking ahead to Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 42. Then, Thursday night will be mostly clear with a low around 30. Currently, it's 34 and clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
sports, your thrilling ride. Top sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high, baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big top sports, feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. If you want to jump in on the sporting conversation in and around the Chicagoland area, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or join me on the tube of views at youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. And don't forget to check out the WRMN Facebook page, where you've got Susie C's question of the day which was, paraphrasing here, when did you realize that you were getting old? And it's kind of funny because as I was getting up to go get my energy drink, well, that's another sign that I am feeling like I'm getting old. As I was taking the first step out of my comfy chair here in the studio, all of a sudden my leg was like, no, I'm not gonna work for you right now. And then, well, I feel like I need to, take a cane or a walker or something like that. What's up, Mr. Johnston? Yes, Big Top Sports. Here on WRMN 1410 AM. Thank you for sitting in for me this past week while I was on vacation. And man, it was a nice vacation as well. 10 days, maybe 11 days. I'm not exactly sure at this point. My math is not really mathing. But I do know one thing that it is mathing a little bit. And kind of a funny story, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I did mention before I went on vacay that I thought that the Chicago Bulls, and yes, I'm going to start talking about the Chicago Bulls. Because let's face it, they are just so absolutely unbelievable at this point. Well, the Chicago Bulls are currently in the midst of a 10-game losing streak. Have they even won a game in the month of February? I don't know. Let's see. Going all the way back to February 1st. Nope. No. Yeah, they are winless in the month of February. Great googly moogly. And, well, this is kind of bringing up the expectations of, are they in tank mode? Well, quite honestly, does it really matter at this point? They're sitting at 24-35. They are currently 20 games back of the Detroit Pistons that are 43-14. And Yeah. And right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, who have been, well, they're having one hell of a horrendous season, and, you know, they're dealing with Giannis up there or whatever for the Bucks, where they're just playing god-awful basketball. But at this point, they have surpassed the Bulls. And in looking at the standings, the Wizards are currently 7 games, the Washington Wizards, in the 13th seed, are currently sitting at the 13th spot in the Eastern Conference. They are 7 games in back of the Chicago Bulls. The Brooklyn Nets, who, if I'm not mistaken, have beaten the Chicago Bulls, 2-3 times this year? They are sitting at 8 games in back of the Chicago Bulls. The Indiana Pacers, minus Tyrese Halliburton, is 9 games in back of the Chicago Bulls. Now, if you were to go to the other side in the Western Conference, you got the Sacramento Kings. That is, you know, the absolute dumpster fire at 13-47. The Pelicans, the Orleans Pelicans, are sitting at 17-42. The Utah Jazz are 18-40. The Dallas Mavericks are 21-36. The Grizzlies are 21-36. The Clippers are 27-30. The Trailblazers, who they played tonight, the Chicago Bulls played tonight at the UC, are 28-31. It's not looking too good for the Chicago Bulls, even though the Portland Trail Blazers are currently 4 games better than the Chicago Bulls. And as Nick Johnston on the on the YouTube at WRMN radio feed is commenting that the Bulls were predicted to only win 9 games after the All-Star break. And quite honestly, I think that's kind of even a stretch, which is just unbelievable. I think I should probably trademark that for a shirt or something. Yeah. I mean, how do you explain it? Bad management. Wah, wah, wah. So let's get into the potential tanking of the Chicago Bulls. 10 games. Well, at least I can't even say that with a straight face. The Chicago Bulls have lost 10 consecutive games. Their longest losing streak since 2019. 6 or 7 years ago, depending on how you want to look at it. So, yeah, the 2018-2019 season. So, yeah. At the trade deadline, they traded away 8 players on expiring deals, got back 7 new ones, still trying to figure out how in the hell they're going to be playing with one another. Well, maybe they finally got some practices in, because it was the All-Star break last weekend. But one of the things that I am always railing on with the Chicago Bulls and their games and their statistics is the fact that they are currently averaging over or around, I should say, 21 turnovers per game, which is the worst in the NBA. Now, with all the teams ahead of them, They're trying to get that high draft pick for the 2026 NBA draft. On a wing and a hope and a prayer, they're trying to do I don't know, the Derrick Rose thing where they had a 1% chance of getting that lottery ball in there. And even despite all of the losses and the bad losses, oh my goodness. Bad, so bad. Modest Buzelis has come out and said that they are not, and I'm paraphrasing here, that they are not tanking. They're trying to win. And of course, if you're a professional athlete, unless you're betting on games and getting busted by the FBI, then you're not trying to tank. But the team is not explicitly admitting to tanking. They are trying to get better. They are trying to win games. They are just no. I am beating forever. It seems like beating this dead horse. Because things need to inevitably change. And even though they are not necessarily they added younger players, they got rid of expiring contracts. It's just holy smurf. Can we just get management that knows what the frack they're doing? And then the flip side to that coin is, well, why would they do anything differently when they are still in the top 5 of attendance with the biggest stadium or the biggest seat capacity stadium in the association, which is the United Center, drawing in and printing money when that's exactly what they are looking to do? Why change? The only time that is going to change is if fans stop going to the games. And yes, I was one of those fans last year that went to one of the late season games. Hell, it was a free ticket. Hell, they were playing the Miami Heat. Hell, they blew a 19 or 18 or 17 point lead. I don't even remember at this point. But with that being said, it was a fun in-game experience that you do not get to experience on the television. It's one of those dealios where, yes, it was worth the price of admission. Well, yeah, I mean, hell, it was a free ticket, but I still ended up spending close to $100 for the $30 parking lot, $40 parking lot, the 2 drinks, $80 in total. Well, that's the price of the parking and the drinks. But I digress. But one of the things that really perplexed me was before I went on vacation, I had absolutely no idea when this losing streak was going to end. And even with the Chicago Bulls playing the Portland Trail Blazers tonight at the United Center, I don't know when this losing streak is going to end. because currently speaking, they are going up against, like I said, the Trailblazers tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday. They're definitely not beating the OKC Thunder on Tuesday. They're playing the Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings. And when is this ship going to turn around? No time soon. No time for the rest of this season. That is for damn certain. And getting back to my 10-game losing streak, getting back to my 10-day vacation, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS. And it really fracked with my chi. And I was supposed to be relaxing. And yet, I still was dreaming about the Chicago Unbelieva-BULLS. Oh my goodness. So bad. So bad. Okay. My goodness. Okay. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. I'll be back on the other side.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
When our nation calls, Patriots answer. The U.S. Volunteers Joint Service Command stands ready, honoring our fallen heroes through military funeral honors and serving communities during natural disasters and emergencies. If you're 18 or older, you can serve close to home with free training and just one Saturday a month. Prior service with honorable discharges are welcome. View our website today at usvjsc.org. We are Patriots. We are always ready. We are U.S. Volunteers, and we want you to join us.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And, well, I missed a majority of the Winter Olympics. The 2026 Milan, Cortina, whatever, Winter Olympics that was going on. Well, I was on a cruise ship. You would think being on a cruise ship, and they did have sporting programs on the cruise ship, but that they would have the Olympics going on the cruise ship. No, not so much. But according to Google and the AI overview, the 2026 Winter Olympics averaged viewers were about 23.5 million viewers in the United States across NBC Universal platforms such as NBC, Peacock, etc., which is supposedly the most since the 2014 Olympics, and an increase of about 96% from the 2022 Beijing Olympics. The games averaged 23.5 million viewers, 215.6 million U.S. viewers tuning in for at least some part of the coverage during that game. Where did the United States sit in the medal count? Well, they came in second place. Good enough for the silver medal. And when I say the silver medal, they accumulated 12 golds, 12 silvers, and 9 bronze, good for a total of 33 overall medals throughout the 2026 Winter Olympics Games, coming only behind Norway. Norway had 18 gold medals, 12 silvers, 11 bronze, for a total of 41. But as far as I'm concerned, the most important medals of the games, because, well, unfortunately, the United States curling teams came in second, taking silver, well, at least in the couples or the mixed curling event. But they did win gold for both the men's and women's hockey. And one of the things that really was touching was at the end of the celebration was the jersey being brought out in the celebration of a fallen hockey player. You know. Oh, great googly moogly. WRMN 1410 AM.
Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip: the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first, because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Rain-X. An Internet Freedom Group warns Governor J.B. Pritzker's proposed social media platform fee could raise costs for residents and businesses. The governor says the plan would fund K-12 education, while critics argue companies would pass the cost to consumers. Illinois lawmakers are considering an emergency bill to address SNAP benefit cuts affecting about 230,000 residents. The proposal would provide a one-time payment to households losing aid as concerns rise ahead of the reductions. More than 15 business, manufacturing, and labor groups are asking regulators to halt Illinois' planned natural gas phase-out. The coalition cites a study warning of possible electricity shortages by 2029, saying retired power plants could threaten grid reliability. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by KFC. More than 15 business, manufacturing, and labor groups are asking regulators to halt Illinois' planned natural gas phase-out. The coalition cites a study warning of possible electricity shortages by 2029, saying retired power plants could threaten grid reliability. An Internet Freedom Group warns Governor J.B. Pritzker's proposed social media platform fee could raise costs for residents and businesses. The governor says the plan would fund K-12 education, while critics argue companies would pass the cost to consumers. Illinois lawmakers are considering an emergency bill to address SNAP benefit cuts affecting about 230,000 residents. The proposal would provide a one-time payment to households losing aid as concerns rise ahead of the reductions. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by KFC. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 34. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 19. Looking ahead to Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 42. Then, Thursday night will be mostly clear with a low around 30. Currently, it's 34 and clear. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at the Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Start your weekend right with Dino's Night Out, Fridays from 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM. Dino covers what's hot across the Fox Valley, from live shows to food fests and everything in between. Proudly sponsored by the legendary Arcada Theater at 105 East Main Street in St. Charles. Your home for unforgettable concerts, comedy, and more. Tune in on WRMN 1410 AM or stream at WRMN1410.com. Dino's Night Out, your guide to the weekend vibe.
Chicago defense attorney Mark Schieblo has co-authored the book titled DUI Jury Trial, which is a true story of a DUI case that he defended. The accused was an Illinois truck driver arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. This book contains facts about the case from the date of the arrest up to the jury's verdict, and this nonfiction novel also includes the transcripts from the jury trial itself. The book DUI Jury Trial is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. You want to be a part of the sporting conversation, please feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or you could see my perplexed face on YouTube.com at WRMN Radio. That's YouTube.com at WRMN Radio. Or join in the conversation on our Facebook page at WRMN's, or Facebook at WRMN, and be a part of that conversation there, where you've got Susie C's question of the day. Not up yet, but I already know that it is. When did you start feeling old? And well, that, you know, I'm going to be completely and totally honest with you. That last minute, as my bump music it was playing, and I'm trying to land the plane, bring it in for that landing, and I'll be honest, I crashed. Man, did I crash hard, because when did I start feeling old? Well, just another tip of the iceberg thing here, because as I am trying to land that plane, as I am trying to bring up the fact that it was a touching moment at the end of the game for the men's gold medal hockey game, and they were skating around with Johnny Gaudreau's jersey, his sons on the ice after they got their gold medals. It was very touching. And I had an absolute and total brain fart. I was thinking about it. And then in the next 2 seconds, it was gone. And I completely and totally blanked. I completely and totally spaced out and froze, and oh my great googly moogly. And in that instance, I was suffering from CRS, can't remember Smurf. And man, any hootie. Anyway, it was very touching to see that moment with the hockey team. And here's a little bit.
That there is one teammate who is not on the ice that didn't get to celebrate in this moment, and that is the late Johnny Gaudreau, who absolutely would have been on Team USA, would have been a difference maker, and still very much was in their own way. As you saw, Jordan, when Team USA won the gold, they didn't go pick up the American flag first. They went and picked up Johnny Gaudreau's jersey and skated around the ice. There was on a dry eye on the broadcast in that arena watching that, because we understand the magnitude of this being in Philadelphia, but for hockey fans that are new to this, that don't know the story, Johnny Gaudreau passing in a tragic accident, one of the NHL's best, brightest, most loved players, and not getting to compete in the Olympics as his family watches on, Jordan. A tragic moment that really came full circle and a beautiful story today.
And that was courtesy of NBC Philly and their Instagram. So Instagram.com Reels NBC Philly, talking about, that really heartwarming story. And now, as I mentioned the previous hour or so, I was on vacation. I didn't get a chance to see it. I did rewatch the end of the game, but made me happy, obviously. First time that U.S. men's hockey has won a gold medal since the Lake Placid Games all the way back in 1980. Now, what really got to me, and as my co-host from yesterday's show here on Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, Bob Mariner, he said that he was crying as, well, he was taking care of business. And I didn't necessarily cry when, I found out that the United States men's hockey team had won the gold medal. I was happy because, oh my God, 1980, long time in coming, coming in second place, 3 Olympics, to Team Canada, finally beating Team Canada in this most recent iteration of the 2026 Olympic Games. But in watching it back and watching basically as much as I could, it was very heartwarming, heart-jarring, gut punch still, because, I mean, from all accounts, Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, and I hope I'm not totally killing his name, or, oh my goodness. I hope that I am not messing up his name, but it doesn't get much more heartwarming than that. To see that his memory, his legacy, is still being felt by the U.S. Olympic team, and it's just gone way, 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 way too soon, and so senseless. Which is why, I mean, the circumstances around his untimely death and his brother's untimely death is so very, it's senseless, it's tragic, and which is why I'm always talking about, like, around the holiday time or whenever it's, well, most recent holiday, if you will, or upcoming holiday, Shirish, if you will, or St. Patty's Day in a couple of weeks, is if you are going to be out and partying, do it responsibly. Get that Uber or Lyft driver, get that designated driver, because this is the type of thing that, it took one of the NHL's brightest stars away from his family, his team, the fans, and the Gradeau family is not the only one that is, suffered through this. But I digress, and it was a very heartwarming moment when his sons or his kids were being skated around on the ice, and the jersey remembrance was still being felt. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. I will be back on the other side of this break.
Get ready for Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN AM 1410. If you're a homeowner or contractor looking to tackle those projects that feel a bit too big, this is the show for you. Join Eric along with his knowledgeable guests as they dive deep into everything from DIY renovations to creating a healthy home environment. We'll provide you with the tools and tips you need to complete your projects with confidence and ease. But it's not all work and no play. We believe in having fun. Our passion for home improvement shines through as we help you save time, money, and reduce the stress of DIY. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, don't miss Around the House. Tune in every Saturday night and let's tackle those home projects together.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
For a little lighthearted lawlessness on Sunday afternoons, listen to Handle on the Law from 4 to 7 p.m. Handle on the Law is a unique combination of useful legal advice and outrageous handle remarks. Whether you're talking about Big Brother, big business, big legal problems, or Big Macs, you'll rarely find Bill without an opinion. His rapid-fire commentary gives listeners the information they crave in the way they crave it. It's Handle on the Law, Sunday afternoons from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you! Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Now with the 2026 Winter Olympics in the rear view, it is back to Cold steel on ice. With the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Nashville Predators. Wait, hold on. The Nashville sucks Predators. Tonight at 7 p.m. Down there in Nashville. You know, which means, well, it's back to hockey, baby. And where are currently the Blackhawks sitting? Well, they are currently sitting, well, kind of in the bottom of the Central Division. Well, only those St. Louis sucks. Blues are a couple of games behind the Chicago Blackhawks in the Central Division in the Western Conference. Blackhawks currently sitting with 53 points with a record of 22, 26, and 9. 22 wins, 26 losses, and 9 points in overtime losses. But that means, you know what? They are still, well, they're 10 points out of a playoff spot currently sitting right now. But even still, with that being said, what do you have to look forward to as far as the Chicago Blackhawks are concerned? They've got 25 games left on this season, on the 2025-2026 season. Now, according to the HockeyWriters.com, 3 things for the Blackhawks fans to look out for in the second half of the season. I don't know. But in this article written by Matteo Giuliano, the trade deadline just a little bit over a week away, with them visiting the Nashville Predators tonight. What are they trying to do? What is the Chicago Blackhawks, Coach Blashill, what are they going to be doing? 25 games left in the season. The Blackhawks are 10 points out of the playoffs. They're out of the race. So the rest of the season should be about making sure that the young players earn ice time. Yes, get those younger players out there on the ice. Get those defensive players suited up. Now, I know with talking about the Blackhawks and how at one moment they are, well, if you've been watching the Chicago Blackhawks this season, you know that it's been a roller coaster. You know that it's been at times very painful to watch. And I know from my perspective in listening and watching the games that 2-0 leads for the Chicago Blackhawks have been great. But then you're waiting for the other skate to drop, if you will. Because no lead is safe. Spencer Knight has been wonderful for the Chicago Blackhawks this season. And he's going to be the main backstop going forward for the foreseeable future. But the one thing that has been plaguing them, as far as I'm concerned, is the lack of focus on defense. Because when you're, again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but they've got young players on defense. Artem Lashunov. Now, he's had an up and down season. Basically been, he was sat before the Olympics happened, basically giving him a little bit of a rest. But now is the time to get these younger players in the lineup, develop them, get the ice time that they need. Because at this point of the season, I really, truly believe that they are missing the playoffs yet again. But that's okay. Well, it's not okay. Because I'd be, a little bit of a hypocrite saying, well, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win. But yet, this wasn't, I thought, personally, that this would be the boon year for the Chicago Blackhawks. I thought this was going to be a playoff year for the Chicago Blackhawks. I was unfortunately wrong with that. I'm tossing in, the proverbial towel right now on the Chicago Blackhawks season. Get the young players in. Let them play. Let them gel. Let them learn. Now, is it tough? Yes, it's tough. But at the same time, what's right around the corner? Baseball season. It's been a nice bridge as far as, the stupid one is concerned. And I say that STOOPID. I mean me. And it was a good thing as far as I'm concerned, because I was taking a look at the players that were injured, the NHL players that were injured during the Olympics. And that's always a concern of mine, in seemingly getting hurt in, quote unquote, a meaningless game. My words, because obviously it's not a meaningless game to the players that are playing in the Olympics that have won the gold medal, i.e. the men's U.S. Olympic team, hockey team. But it's always a key concern. And I wholeheartedly am thankful that Connor Bedard did not play for Team Canada. Could he have helped them win against the United States? Yeah, sure. Yep, I'm pretty sure that could have happened. But yet, in his 3 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard has been hurt. I want him to be healthy for the remainder of the season. I want all of the Chicago Blackhawks to be healthy going into the offseason and get right. But more importantly, to figure out how to play with one another and how to get on the right track, the same page, if you will. Now, going back to this article, thehockeywriters.com, from writer Matteo Giuliano. Coming into the season, Bedard was motivated to make the Canadian Olympic team. Did not achieve that. That's okay. He was, quote unquote, well, supposedly snubbed by Doug Armstrong. I don't know. Whatever. But he definitely came into the season with a chip on his shoulders, improving his game, improving his speed, improving his size. Great. Now, in going forward with the remaining 25 games of the NHL season for the Chicago Blackhawks, is there going to be a dip in his performance? Is he going to be up to the task to playing the rest of the season and putting up what would be superstar numbers as far as, like a league scorer? Because he's still leading the Chicago Blackhawks in points. It's, good, cool, whatever. But is he going to be up to the challenge coming back from the shoulder injury? Taking the face-offs, doing what he does, making those absolute sick goal-scoring plays, putting the biscuit in the basket. And I don't care what any of the pundits out there say. He is one of the more dynamic players in the NHL. and I am happy that he is on the Chicago Blackhawks. And it's just a matter of, well, seasoning, and a matter of what Blackhawks management is going to do coming forward with the trade deadline less than, or a little bit over a week away. What's going to happen with Nick Foligno, Tyler Bertuzzi, Lishunov? Anyway, baseball talk on the other side of this bottom of the hour break. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois lawmakers are considering an emergency bill to address SNAP benefit cuts affecting about 230,000 residents. The proposal would provide a one-time payment to households losing aid as concerns rise ahead of the reductions. More than 15 business, manufacturing, and labor groups are asking regulators to halt Illinois' planned natural gas phase-out. The coalition cites a study warning of possible electricity shortages by 2029, saying retired power plants could threaten grid reliability. An internet freedom group warns Governor J.B. Pritzker's proposed social media platform fee could raise costs for residents and businesses. The governor says the plan would fund K-12 education, while critics argue companies would pass the cost to consumers. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Looking to buy or sell a home in Chicagoland? Need trusted legal help with real estate, evictions, or estate planning? Turn to Guthrie & Brady, the happy lawyers serving the greater Chicago area since 1965. With over 50 years of experience, they handle titles and deeds, foreclosures, landlord-tenant issues, wills, trusts, and more. Appointments available evenings or weekends at their Roselle office or right in your home. Call Guthrie & Brady now at 847-524-1215. That's 847-524-1215. Or visit gnblegal.com. Guthrie & Brady, personal, professional, affordable legal services for all of Chicagoland. The happy lawyers since 1965. That's gnblegal.com. Or 847-524-1215. Guthrie & Brady, trusted legal help made easy, fast, affordable, and experienced. Call today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Progressive. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 19. As we move into Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 42. Thursday night will be mostly clear with a low around 30. On Friday, sunny skies are expected, reaching a high near 60. Currently, clear skies and 32. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports feel the roar, where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And, baseball. Baseball season's underway. Well, at least the spring training is. And the Chicago White Sox, Chicago Cubs. And don't forget that the Chicago White Sox, you can hear the Chicago White Sox here on WRMN 1410 AM. Majority of their games being broadcast here on this very radio station. And if you want to call in, talk about any of the subjects that I have previously talked about, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. You can see my lovely face on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. That's youtube.com at WRMN Radio. Now, don't forget Susie C's question of the day. Susie C from the WRMN Morning Show with guest host David Tees tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And Susie C's question of the day is, when did you start feeling old? And I've already given you a couple of examples, whether I am suffering from CRS, can't remember Smurf, or, the nose and or ear hair, starting to protrude. You got to start grooming that, or just getting out of the seat that I'm sitting in and my leg going, nope, not going to work right now. Not going to work right now. But I digress. I am talking baseball, spring training underway. Games are being played. And, Chicago White Sox fall to 4-3 on the year, or on the spring training year, losing to the Los Angeles Dodgers 7-6 today. But they were able to put up 6 runs. You had, Drew Romo getting a hit today, going 1-for-1, but he's coming in for Kyle Teal, who was 1-for-3. He got a hit. He scored a run. Let's see, who else? Braden Montgomery, he was 1-for-2, coming in and seeing some action at the end of the game. Curtis Mead, 1-for-3, scoring a run as well. Let's see, who pitched? Let's see, we had Sean Newcomb going. 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a base on ball, 2 strikeouts. Chris Murphy also pitched 3 innings. He gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Tyson Miller, he only pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Thomas Vale, Duncan DeVette, and Honking Horn. Well, that's not the honking horn. They were playing the game at Camelback Ranch, but yep. And as well, the Chicago Cubs were also in action today. But one of the things that I'm kind of happy to see is that Edgar Quero, catcher for the Chicago White Sox, presumably the starting catcher for the Chicago White Sox, early on in spring training, only with, let's see, where am I looking at? So many games here. He's only played in 2 games. He's only had 6 ABs, but he's driven in 5 runs. That's nice to see. And then the biggest addition to the Chicago White Sox offseason is Murakami. And he's got 5 hits on this young spring training season. He's played in all 4 games. He's had 13 ABs, 5 hits, 2 of which are doubles, 2 RBIs. Struck out 5 times, but, that might be an issue going forward. But, considering the fact that he's a young Babe Ruthian Japanese player coming over from the Japanese league. And, well, one of the things that Japanese hitters deal with when coming over to the United States and playing in Major League Baseball is getting used to the high heat. Getting used to those potentially triple-digit, upper 90s heat. And can he catch up to the high heat that's up there? Can he differentiate the tunneling aspect of the pitchers where, and I say tunneling up, it's basically giving you the same arm slot of the fastball, the curveball, the slider, the changeup in the same spot every single time. Being able to differentiate the pitches and whether or not he's going to be able to get to the high heat or the inside stuff. Probably for the first part of the season, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that he's able to do it. And he's able to get to that just for the simple fact that it's a different game here in the United States. But I think he will be able to do so. And right now I am trying to pull up the Chicago White Sox schedule here. Schedule White Sox. And let's see, Major League Baseball, yada, 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 yada. Okay, games, yes, they've already played. Let's get to March. And so they start the season in Milwaukee. Okay, not bad. It's a dome place. At least it's better than being at the rate on March 26th for that first game of the season. So they start at the Brewers in Milwaukee, Dome Stadium. Weather is not going to be an issue. They're going to go down to the Miami Marlins and play there. After that, they go up. And, well, actually, the home opener will be on April 2nd at the rate. That's a 3:10 start. That is for the Chicago White Sox home opener. Then you've got another series against the Baltimore Orioles. Then they go to KC. Okay, so might be a little interesting come April because if you are in the Chicagoland area, you're familiar with all the games that are being played in the area, you know that Mother Nature can be a cruel, cruel mistress. But then for the 14th of April, you are talking about the Chicago White Sox going down to Tampa Bay. After that series, I'm sorry, playing against Tampa Bay at the rate. Going out to Oakland, going out to Arizona. So it might be a little bit of a mishmash of good and bad. And the reason why I say that is, well, it's Chicagoland. Doesn't really start getting nice until when? The end of April? So you got a little bit of a stretch there where you're playing 6 games at home at the rate. Kansas City in there, so that's 10 games, 13 games in the middle of April, beginning of the season. Will the bats be there for the Chicago White Sox? Because it's been a grind the last few seasons. Getting going is what I'm talking about. Coming back from the land of the rising sun in Arizona. But let's see. First week, first games, Brewers, Marlins. Not too bad. But then you go from dome to the rate. Weather might not be all up in on it. But I wholeheartedly believe that the Chicago White Sox are going to be a hell of a lot better this season than last. Maybe break out that slogan again. The kids can play. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to be above 500. Hell, at this point, the past 3 seasons, you all know it as Chicago White Sox fans. Listening here on WRMN 1410 to the Chicago White Sox broadcasts, Chicago White Sox have lost 100 games for the last 3 seasons. The Chicago White Sox, I'm just going to say it right now. The Chicago White Sox are going to win about 70 games, which means that they are going to be about 11 games under 500, which means no 100-loss season this year. And I'm very, very excited because there are things coming up that I can't quite disclose yet. There are things coming up in the WRMN pipeline for Big Top Sports and the station that I'm really, really excited about going forward. Whether it's going to be, well, I can talk about it a little bit. Whether it be watch parties, WRMN gatherings. Ooh, baby. And other potential meet and greets. We don't have any. Oh, did I just let the cat out of the bag? No dates as of yet, but diligently working behind the scenes to make this Smurf happen and to make this one of the best sporting years here on WRMN 1410 AM. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Back on the other side, talking Cubs.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress, and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now 847-741-5660 or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
When tragedy strikes, you need more than a lawyer, you need a voice. Romanucci and Blandon fight for justice in cases of personal injury, wrongful death, civil rights, and medical malpractice. With over $1 billion recovered, their results speak loud. Call 312-458-1000 or visit rblaw.net. That's 312-458-1000. Romanucci and Blandon, national impact, personalized care. No fee unless they win. Proud supporter of America's First Responders Fest.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. That's 800-257-3148.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me talk this sports thing here on WRMN 1410. All right, speaking about the Chicago Cubs lost today to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And they're off to a little bit of a rocky start with a 2-5 record on this young spring training season. But whatever, it's spring training, right? Couple of things that I was encouraged when I came back and doing the whole legwork, from vacation, is the fact that, well, the Chicago Cubs have not traded away Nico Horner. They have not traded away Matthew Shaw. Sorry, I was just thinking of Andrew Scheid there. That's why I got the whole Andrew Shaw. But Matt Shaw for the Chicago Cubs, taking outfield practice, just basically going to be the super utility player for the Chicago Cubs. And, well, as far as I'm concerned, and one of the things that really, really scared the hell out of me was the fact that they were going to be trading Nico Horner. Now, there were actual teams, and by teams, it was the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox that were looking to discuss a trade with the Chicago Cubs for the services of one Nico Horner, who is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. But considering the fact that Nico Horner was one of the best players for the Chicago Cubs last year, with the highest WAR, I believe it was a 6.3 wins above replacement, highest batting average on the team at 297. And yeah, his offensive stats at the end of last season kind of took a little bit of a dip, but he was still one of the better Cubs players in the playoffs at the end of the season, which kind of brings me along to Shota Imanaga, the $22 million man going forward for this season. Well, that was a surprise, and I'm sure it shocked everyone in the front office for the Chicago Cubs when he was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll sign for that, because hell, why wouldn't he? Because he probably realized that he had a stinker of a second half of a season. I mean, giving up 22, I believe it was 22, maybe 20 gopher balls, homers. something was off in his pitching mechanics, pitching deliveries, and that. But with that being said, here on Big Top Sports. Well, in yesterday's game, he was able to pitch decently, adding a little bit more velocity to his fastball, averaging roughly around 93 miles an hour in his first spring training start. I know it's his first spring training start, but considering that he was averaging anywhere from like 90 to 92 miles an hour, there was 2.2 miles an hour jump in that, and hitting 94.1 miles an hour in yesterday's 2-inning game, or 2 innings pitched, I should say. It looks like that his hamstring is healed. His injury, his injuries and the offseason has done him good. He threw 33 pitches. His velocity was up across all of his pitches, including his sweeper, at 3.1 miles per hour. His curveball was up 4.2 miles an hour. So that is good. That goes into the whole tunneling thing that I was talking about in the previous segment, which makes it a lot harder to hit when you're seeing the same pitches come out of the same window, same arm slot, the same movements, which also means that his splitter, which was his go-to pitch for the first half of last season, was good. And he was working on his off-season mechanics. So this is good. This is a good thing going forward. And make no mistake about it, with the Cubs essentially 8, 9, I don't know what they're at now, 10 starters, potential starters, potentially going with a 6-man rotation. I have no idea. I'm just tossing this out there. I am not Craig Counsell. I have not been in talks with Craig Counsell. But when you're talking about the roster, as far as the pitching rotation goes, yes, they have the potential for a 6-man rotation, 8 starters. And we all know at the beginning, if you're a baseball fan, we know at the very beginning of the season, that first series, you play a game, you have an off day, just in case of weather. And then you play the next couple of games. Or maybe you get rescheduled. But regardless, for pitchers in spring training, it's all about working on their pitches, working on their mechanics, and not to really, or at least for the veteran pitchers, not to get too overhyped on it, if you will. But with that being said, that's the music. This is the end of Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. I'm your host, Derrick Geyer. Hey, don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 4 because mighty man Andrew Scheid will be joining me in studio. We're going to chop up more sports talk. Can't wait to do that. Missed him on Monday. Don't forget to tune in to the WRMN Morning Show with Susie C. Have a great rest of your day. Later.
Every year in Illinois, over 30,000 drivers are arrested for DUI. Due to improper testing procedures, many people end up being wrongfully charged. The book DUIs Decoded cuts right to the chase and tells you how proper DUIs arrests are supposed to be made. From the initial traffic stop to the reasoning behind the field sobriety test, all the myths and facts about taking a breathalyzer, and more. DUIs Decoded is written by nationally recognized DUI expert witness William Polarinos. Available now at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.